श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Yesterday we saw yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. That's a beautiful statement which very clearly says that the mind and the words cannot grasp that self. That done, now the opponent, he is asking the tarhi katham tam tu aupunishatam purusham pruchhami iti drishyate dvagriya buddhya iti cha shruti shastrayonitvat iti sutram cha. Then how can you say tantu aupunishatam purusham pruchhami, tantu aupunishatam purusham pruchhami? I am asking pruchhami, I am asking about that what tantu aupunishatam purusham, that purusha which is said in the Upanishads, which is said in the Upanishad. Underline the word said, because said means you have to use words. So that which is explained in the Upanishads through the words, that Purusha I am asking about. So that's the question. Okay. Drishyate tu agriya buddhya. One who has a subtle intellect, subtle mind. Subtle intellect or mind does not really make any difference, because mind and intellect are two faces of the same coin. Adhyavasayo buddhi dharma. When you have determination, that is called buddhi. Sankalpa vikalpa. Omanaha. When you have doubts, this or that, etc., then that is what is called as mind. The same thing. So he says, the Shruti also says, not just the Smriti, very beautifully, the Sutra very beautifully says, logic. Sutra is logic, right? So Shastra Yonitvat, Shastra Yonitvat, Yoni Karanam. Shastra is the karana for understanding this self, meaning Shastra is the pramana. So this is what, yes. How can you say that the words and mind cannot grasp it? Uchyate. Listen to this. Avidya kalpita sambandhena shabdajanyayam buddhivrittau charmayam paramananda bodharupe shuddhe brahma vastuni प्रतिबिंबिते अविद्यातत्कार्योः कल्पितयोः निवृत्ति उपपत्तेः उपचारेण विषयत्व अभिधानात्. अविद्या कल्पित संबंधेन, through the superimposed relationship, superimposed because of ignorance, because of that superimposed ignorance relationship, shabdajanyayam buddhivrittau, where buddhivrittau, shabdajanyayam buddhivrittau, the words, the thought functions which have manifested because of the words which we have heard, listen. Charamayam paramananda bodharupe. When that thought function takes place, when the final thought function takes place, charamayam, charama means final. Paramananda bodharupe. Paramananda bodharupe means the akhandartha swarupa. When that thought function of akhandartha vritti we say, that vritti takes place, and that is why charamayam, we have to remember that charamayam, the final thought function, akhandartha vritti does not take place again and again and again. It is once and for all, over. People who say, I am repeating the I'm practicing akhandakara vritti, repetition. It is not said in the Shastra. But Shastra says, yes, repetition is accepted in Shastra. Avritti rasakartopateshat, repetition is accepted. Avritti. Because the Shruti repeats again and again. 9 times the Shruti says. Why does the Shruti say 9 times? Tattamasi, tattamasi. Because Avritti is accepted. Repetition accepted. Repetition is accepted in Vichara, not in Akhandakara Vritti. Remember that. People without understanding what Vedanta is, they blabber these kind of things. Don't believe them. So when that akhandakara vritti takes place, shuddhe vastuni pratibimbite, in that thought function, when the reflection of the pure self is there, the thought function goes out and it is turned inwards. When that comes inwards, then in that thought function, when the self which is there shining ever, when it is reflecting on that thought function, then what happens? Thought function goes and dashes on any object and bursts and the light illumines the object. That's some idea I am bringing. Okay. Similarly, when the thought function turns inwards and it becomes it blasts, then what happens? This fire will not illuminate the self because the self is more powerful fire than this fire, small illumination associated with the thought function. Therefore, then when this self is illumined in that thought function, then avidyakaryoho kalpitayoho, avidya and its effect, which are kalpita, which are superimposed. Nivritti ovattehe, it is right to say that it gets dissolved, it gets removed, annihilated. Then upacharena vishayatva abhidanat. For in that thought, buddhivritto vishayatva abhidanat. We call that buddhivritti vishaya just for namesake. That's all. Upachara means namesake. See, in Vivarana, there is a beautiful statement. Antakarana vrittau jnanatvopacharat. There it is said, Antakarana vrittau jnanatvopacharat. In the thought function of mind, we superimpose the idea that it is a knowledge. Thought function is knowledge. Ataha, therefore, tatra kalpitam avidya sambandham pratipadayitum aha. The avidya sambandha is superimposed. Avidya is not in real relationship with the absolute self, because there can be no. If the avidya does not exist in reality, other than the self, nothing exists, then how can the avidya exist? If avidya does not exist, how can it have a relationship with the self? So the association with the self is superimposed. So that is what is said kutastham. Kuta means anvil. Kutavat sthitam means like an anvil, it exists. Anvil is that base on which you keep some iron or something and beat with a hammer. The iron which you place on the anvil changes shape according to the way you beat it, but the anvil remains stable. That is why this self is referred to as kutastha. Okay, that is the general meaning which we take. He is bringing a beautiful meaning. यद मिथ्याभूतं सन् सत्यतया प्रतीयते तत् कूटमिति लोकैः उच्यते. Kuta means Kutaniti, Kuta Prayoga, etc. They say in the world. Kuta means hidden or camouflaging. Not, you are not showing your real existence. Okay, so yad mithya bhutam satyadaya, that which is wrong, that is shown to be right, that is explained to be right, that is established to be right. The world, we see many things which are wrong, but they say that is the only truth. So he says similarly, loki uchyate, this is what people in the world accept. यथा कूटकार्षापणः कूटसाक्षित्वम् इत्यादि. Like what is that? That is a pseudo cotton. It's cotton, they say. It's not cotton. It is a something like cotton, not cotton. Similarly, kutasakshittvam. What is he? What is he? He is a sakshi. He is a witness. But what kind of witness is he? Yeah, duplicate witness. Why do you say duplicate witness? Because whatever he says as a witness, he goes to the stand and he'll claim everything to be whatever he has to say. But he has not seen anything, or he does not have any knowledge of that, direct knowledge of any of that. But he'll go and claim that he saw everything and all that. So, ajnanapi, similarly, the ignorance also, mayakhyam, which is also referred to by maya. सह कार्य प्रपंचेन मिथ्याभूतमपि लौकिकैः सत्यतया प्रतीयमानम्. Along with its the ignorance, along with its effect, though it does not have any existence, the world sees it to be real. How can you say this is not real? This is so real. So the world sees it to be real. Therefore, satyatya laukikaihi pratiyamanan, the world sees it to be laukika. Laukika means the worldly people, they say it to be real. Therefore, kutam. That is why it is called as kutam. Tasmin adhyasikena sambandhena adhishthanatya tishtati. In that, for that kuta, in a relationship which is superimposed, this self remains as the substratum. So, sa is the, see, in the earlier explanation, kuta is the substratum, and like the kuta sthitam, it is a said, explained. Now here, sa is the self, kuta is the superimposed existence. You understand? Beautiful, this is class. Iti kutastha ajnanavatkarya adhisthana vidyate. Ignorance and its effect. The substratum for it is this kutastha. Etena sarva anuvatihi parihara krita. With this, all the possibilities, this is what is said, that is what is said, etc., it's all negated. Whether it is Shruti or Shruti Smriti or the sutras, they are all negated. Ata'eva sarva vikaranam avidya kalpitatvad tat adhishthanam sakshi chaitanyam nirvikaram ityaha. That is why all the vikaras, all the transformations are avidya kalpita, superimposed by avidya. Therefore, its substratum, the sakshi chaitanya, is that which does not undergo any transformation. This creation undergoes transformation. The substratum, the self, the sakshi chaitanya does not undergo transformation. That is why it is referred to as achalam. Na chalati iti achalam. That which does not undergo transformation is achala. Chalana is vikara, transformation. Achalatvarev dhruvam. Since it does not undergo any transformation, it is said dhruvam. Dhruvam means a stable. Aparinami nityam. It does not change. It does not change. Therefore, it is eternal. Stable means eternal. Etadrisham shuddham brahma mam paryupasate. This kind of me, which is the absolute self, these people meditate, worship. How? Shravanena pramanagatam asambhavanam apohya manenena cha pramegatam anantaram viparita bhavana nivrittaye dhyayanti vijatiya pratyanantirita pratya tiraskarena sthaila dhara vad avichinna samana pratya pravahena nidhyasana sanyakena dhyanina vishi kurvati ityartha. So, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, all the three are explained. Important thing to note, underline this. They worship. How do they worship? Shravanena pramanagatam asambhavanam apohya. By removing water, pramanagatam asambhavanam. The impossibility. It cannot exist. The self cannot exist. This Vedanta cannot be the means for self, etc. All these ideas. This Vedanta self. Pramanagata sandeha. Pramanagata sandeha. That is removed to the Shravana. Vedanta is the only means for liberation. There is no other means. We have to understand till we understand, we will be not clear about it, because what we study generally is Prameya Granthas, the text which really deal with Prameya, the self. The Mahatmas, when they discuss, when they speak something out, the great Mahatmas books, etc., they all deal with Prameya, they don't deal with Pramana. I used to read books, whatever books, especially Raman Maharshi, etc. I used to read a lot of J. Krishnamurti and Raman Maharshi. J. Krishnamurti, I know, I don't touch anymore. Raman Maharshi also no, but J. Krishnamurti, no, I don't. In fact, I don't even support J. Krishnamurti's teaching. The thing is, till the day I was away from out of Shastra, outside of Shastra, I didn't enter Shastra, I studied all these books. The moment I decided, I didn't decide to study Shastra. Remember, I didn't go to Rishikesh to study Shastra. I went there and Shastra happened. But the moment I decided to study Shastra, I surrendered myself to Shastra. I didn't look into any books. I kept all the books inside my box. I decided I will not read any of them till I understand what is said in the Shastra to understand these properly. Once I studied the Shastra, I didn't need to touch any of these books. If they are going to say anything different from whatever Shastra says, then they are wrong. Whoever they may be. If they are not saying in line with Shastra, they are wrong. Understand this. Don't show your modesty here. Idiotic modesty here. I don't like that stupid statements. No? Whatever I say here, there are some people, they go to stage and say at the end, after blabbering whatever they say, whatever I said here, if it is all, if there is something wrong there, it is all because of me. And if it is right, if there is something right in that, it is because of my Guruji. I was giving a lecture in some place. I was invited to give a lecture in some place, and some idiot who spoke before me said this, and it triggered me, and I was like, okay. I went on the stage, and after finishing my lecture, I told them, whatever I said, if it is wrong, it is all my Guruji's. If it is right, it is all mine. They were like, they thought there is a slip of tongue, and I spoke wrongly. I said, no. I'm repeating again. If there is something wrong, it is all the flaw of my Guruji. If it is right, it is all because of me. How? This is not because of arrogancy. I don't want to show that pseudo modesty, that stupidity. Why I am saying this is, if it is wrong, I studied very diligently. I studied very diligently. I didn't give any choice while studying. Whatever my Guruji said, I took it inside. If he said something, it is there here. Then, if he said it wrong, that I have accepted as it is. I was saying then. So, if it is wrong, it is because of his problem. If it is right, I have studied properly, so it is all mine. So, the idea is, this is what I wanted to say. Surrender to Shastra. That is the important thing. Surrender to Guru is surrender to Shastra. Because you cannot see the Guru to be different from Bhagwan, to be different from Shastra. Okay, so Pramanagata Asambhavanam Apohya. By removing the Pramanagata Asambhavana defect, through Manana, you get the Viparita Bhavana. Viparita Bhavana means self is that, self is this, etc. All these stupidities, that is removed. And after that, through Nididhyasana, what you do is Vijatiya Pratyaya Tiraskarena Sataila Dharavat Avichinna Samana Pratyaya Pravahena. Beautiful, this is Dhyayanti. They meditate upon me. Normally, in Nidhyasana, we give this definition. Vijatiya Pratyaya Anantarita Sajatiya Pratyaya Pravaham. Sajatiya Pratyaya Pravaham. The flow of similar thought function. I do have that. What do you have? I do the chanting, and suddenly something, I go, but that's a flow. That is the problem. The flow is intermittently disturbed by some other thought. So that is why I say Sajatiya Pratyaya Pravaha should be there. That should not be intermittently Anantarita, disturbed by the Vijatiya Pratyaya, a contradictory thought function. That is the normal definition we give. What does he say? Vijatiya Pratyaya Tiraskarena. The Anantarita should not, that which need not be, that should not disturb your flow of thought function. For that, he says, you should forcefully negate it. Tiraskara means you should have to forcefully discard it, negate it. And so taila dharavat, like a flow of ghee or oil without any flaw, avichinna samana pratyaya pravahena. Without a gap, the flow of a same thought function should be there. That is nididhyasana. Through that, which is referred to as nididhyasana, dhyanena, through that meditation, vishi kurvanti, they objectify me and as though. Because the ignorance is as though, the means knowledge, shastra is as though, the thought function is as though, therefore, the objectification is also as though, so therefore, no issue here. कथं पुनः विषयन्ते संयोगे सति विजातीय प्रत्यय तिरस्कारो अतः wait how can someone have when how can somebody discard the different thought function when he has attachment to the sense organ and sense object? Vishayendriya sanyoge sati, when the thought function and when the mind and the sense organ are in association, how can I distance myself? Because what is the problem? We go to places and we are affected by people in those places because the sense organ meets the sense object and it is disturbing you, not them. So he says, Vijatiya Pratya Tiraskaro Katham. How can I give up that contradictory thought function? Ityata Ataha. For that he is answering. Sanniyamya. So Vishayabhya Upasamhritya Indriya Gramam Karana Samudaya. Sanniyamya, by controlling. Controlling means by bringing back the sense organ from their sense objects. Like the turtle, the tortoise takes back all its organs which are seen outside, its head, its four limbs, two hands and two legs. Inside, similarly, you bring in all the five sense organs inside. Don't make it objectify its respective objects. So, Karana Samudayam. Etene Shamadamadi Sampatipta, with this Shamadama, etc. is said. Okay, so you have to have titiksha also, forbearance. You have to forbear these things, then they will not disturb you. Vishya bhoga vasanayam satyam kuta indriyanam tado nivrutti. When I have desire for experience, how can I? This is the problem. Why are we not able to bring it back from the sense object? Because we are still interested in experiencing those objects. We say, I don't want, but we internally want. What we repeat is, I want. Mouth says, I don't want, but your mind says, want. That is the issue. So, how can I get rid of the sense organ, sense object association when I have the desire for it? Vishaya bhoga vasanayam satyam. When the thought function is there, the thought impression is there for the experience of sense objects. Thought imprints are very powerful. Therefore, he says, Sarvatra Vishaya Samatulya Indriya Harsha Vishadabhyam Ragadveshabhyam Cha Rahita Mati Yesham. So, Sarvatra Samabuddhaya, that is explained. Sarvatra, in all places, means in all objects. Sama means Tulya, equanimity. Equanimity in what? Harsha Vishadabhyam, in both laugh and cry, happiness and grief. Raga Dveshabhyam, in desire and hatred. All these dualities and all the trinities, we have to take all the dualities and all the trinities. Rahita Matihi, the mind should not be disturbed. You have to have equanimity in all this. Samyak Jnanina Esham, Samyak Jnanina Tad Karanasya Ajnanasya Apanitatvat, for whom through the right knowledge, the cause for all these dualities, the ignorance is completely annihilated. Visheshu dosha darshana abhyasena spruthayaha nirasanacha, and he is discarding the attachment to those objects by perceiving the defects in those objects. I have told you number of times, perceiving the defect in objects means the pen. This pen is not writing properly. That pen writes. You are transferring the The attachment from this to that, you are not seeing defect there. It is like somebody, he was smoking cigarettes. Oh, what happened now? I stopped smoking. Very good. Very good. I like it. Then I had some difficulties. I am now eating tobacco. He is chewing tobacco instead of smoking tobacco. Now, instead of giving up something, you have taken up something else. That is what we don't want you to do. So he says, Samabuddhaya, Sarvatra Sambuddhaya. Yes, equanimity because of seeing the defects. Defect is because it is an object, it is defective. Whatever object, they are defective. There is no choice here. Etena Vashikara Sanya Vairagya Muktam. With this, the Vashikara Sanya Vairagya is set. Ekendriya, etc. Different kinds of Vairagya, which is explained in Yoga Sutra. There he says Vashikara Sanya Vairagya. The ultimate Vairagya is Vashikara Sanya Vairagya. Atayeva, your mind is completely under control. Atayeva, Sarvatra Atmadrushtya Himsa Karana Dvesha Rahitatvad Sarabhuta Hite Rataha. So since they see only the self in everything, they see the self, they don't see the object. See, in Drigdrishivaka also we saw pen avachinna chaitanya, pencil avachinna chaitanya, etc. we saw. The pencil is object, superimposed. Chaitanya is substratum. They see only the substratum, not the superimposition. The pen and pencil. They see only the drik, chaitanya, not the drishya, pen, pencil, etc. So, sarvatra atma drishtya, because of seeing everything as consciousness, self, himsa karana dvesha rahitatva. They don't have attachment or hatred towards anything, which is the cause for tormenting something, troubling something, doing violence. So, therefore, since there is no reason for any violence, sarvabhuta hite rataha, they are involved in the well-being of everything. Abhayam sarvabhutebhyo matta swaha iti mantrena datta sarvabhuta abhaya dakshinaha krita sannyasa. See, while taking sannyasa, you have to repeat this thrice. Abhayam sarvabhutebhyo matta swaha. Mattaha from me, abhayam, fearlessness. Sarvabhutebhyo abhayam, for all the beings I give fearlessness from me. There should be no fear from me. This is what he takes, he repeats while taking sannyasa. Therefore, krita sannyasa iti yavat. One who has taken up sannyasa. Why do you have to say this while doing sannyasa? Because avayam sarvabhutebhyo dattva sannyasa machareti smrti. The smrti very clearly says, after giving up, after giving the fearlessness to everyone, take sannyasa. Evam vidaha sarva sadhana sampanna. Even this kind of people, this type of people, meaning one who is equipped with all the prerequisites. Santah swayam brahmabhutaha nirvichikatsena sakshatkarena sarva sadhana phalabhutena mam aksharam brahmaiva te prapnoti. They being the self themselves, they gain me, the absolute self. Purvavi madrupa eva santah avidya nivritya madrupa eva tishtantitya. Earlier too they were of my own form, but now after the removal of ignorance, they understand that they are me. They still remain in my own form. How do you say? Earlier also they were in my own form. Now also Brahmavid Brahma apne Brahmaiva san Brahma apnoti Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Vavati, etc. These kind of shrutis we have seen 1,000 times. Already being Brahman, he gains as though gains the Brahman. So, etc. These shrutis. Iya apicha jnani tu atmaiva me matam iti uktam. In earlier chapter, he said, jnani, the released one, I accept him to be my own self. That is what I accept. Idanim etebhya kurvesham atishayam darshinaha. What is the difference between them and them? Him. Whom and whom? They and they. Who are they and they? Saguna Brahma Upasaka and Nirguna Brahma Upasaka. What is the difference between these two? Because my question was very clear. Whom should I follow? I want to know which is the best one so that I can follow. So which is the best? What is the specialty between that and this? So he says, Klesho adhikataras tesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhir abapyate. Beautiful shloka. Remember this shloka. This is a very beautiful shloka, important shloka, so that you can say studying Shastra is useless. No, I am not joking. This is a shloka which is a very important shloka to say that. Why? I'll say. क्लेशः अधिकतरः तेषाम् अव्यक्त आसक्त चेतसाम् अव्यक्ता ही गतिः दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. क्लेशो अधिकतरः. क्लेश is अधिकतर, more than them. What? Klesha, the trouble. The trouble which you undergo is more than them. More than them means saguna upasakas. Tesham avyakta asakta chetasam. For whom? For those who have their mind established in the non-attributed self. Avyakta. Avyakta hi gati dukkham. The avyakta which needs to be gained, the means is sorrowful. Though avyakta, the absolute, is blissful, but the means is very painful. Devavapyate. This is what the devadbihi, the people who are attached to the body sense organ complex, they gain only sorrow practicing the nirguna upasana. Listen to this. पूर्वेषामपि विषयेभ्यः आहृत्य सगुणे ब्रह्मणि मन आवेशः सततं तत् कर्मपरायणत्वे च परश्रद्धोपतत्वे च क्लेशाधिको भवति एव. What do you say? They have more problem than these people. Let's compare. For comparing, let us check the notes. In the earlier, for the Saguna Upasakas, Purveshamapi, for the Saguna Upasaka people also, Vishebhya Ahrutya, they have to take back the mind from the sense organs. They too have to do that. Then Sagune Brahmani Mana Aveshe, they have to place their mind in the attribute itself. And Sadatam Tat Karma Parayanatve. And they have to perform all the karmas. They have to use all the sense organs only for that Saguna Brahman. Much Parashraddha Upayatatvecha. And they have to have complete surrender to that object. For all this klesha adhiko bhavati, you have to undergo a lot of pain. It is not easy to surrender with so much of shraddha and to perform all the karmas for that absolute and to bring the mind from the external objects and place it in the self. It is not easy. And place it in the saguna attribute itself. It is not easy. They also have to undergo trouble, pain. But Avyakta asakta chetasam, for the people who want to establish their mind in the non-attributed self, for them, Nirguna Brahma Chintana Varanam, people who are meditating upon the Nirguna Brahman, for them, Tesham, Purokta Sadhanavatam, jo yad klesha hai, ayasa hai, adhikataro atishen adhika. Whatever pain, trouble they undergo, the people who meditate upon the attributed self, more than that, adhikatara, he is using tara. So, more than that, these fellows will be experiencing. Atishayena adhikaha. It is more than them. Atra swayameva hetumaha. How can that be more? Yeah, there is pain there and there is pain here. Bhagavan himself explains that avyakta hi gatihi. Avyakta hi gatihi. What does it mean? He yasmat aksharatmakam gantavyam falabhutam brahma, because this aksharatmaka, the Brahman which is named as Akshara, that Brahman which is the result for the meditation, yatha brahma dukkham, that is of the nature of dukkham. The gantavya, the means is dukkha. Why? Yat dukkham yatha syat tatha krutchrena dehavadbihi dehamanibihi avapyate. Like practicing of penance, etc., repentance, karma, etc. These people experience pain. Who? Dehavadbihi, people who are associated with body. Means people who are attached to the body, identified with the body, they experience the sorrow. सर्वकर्मसन्न्यासं कृत्वा गुरुमुपसृत्य वेदान्तवाक्यानां तेन तेन विचारेण तद् भ्रमनिराकरणेन निराकरणे महान् आयासः प्रत्यक्षसिद्धः. It is very clearly perceived in the world. First they have to give up all the karmas, sarva karma sannyasam. After giving up all the karmas krutva, after giving up this is the important part, gurum upasritya. People don't want to approach a proper guru. They always choose a dead guru because dead guru will not correct you, make any change in your lifestyle. Whatever you feel, that is whatever your mind says, that is what is that guru says. So there is no choice here. You can do whatever you feel. So they don't have the guts, they don't have that purity in them to approach a proper guru. Gurum upasritya, that is an important thing. And what kind of guru you have to go to? Vedanta Vakyanam, one who teaches you Vedanta Vakyas, one who teaches you Vedanta, only that kind of guru, not guru who will talk this and that. Because there is no order in those people's teaching. So, Vedanta Vakyanam, the Vedanta Vakya, that is what we have to fix our mind into. Tena tena vicharena, by inquiring into those Vedantic statements, tad brahma nirakarane, when we eradicate those erroneous knowledge for those things which we have heard now, mahan prayasa, great difficulty, because our mind thinks that I have overcome, but suddenly it comes to the back door. We are not prepared for that. We succumb to it. Therefore, there is a great pain we have experiencing it every day. Prataksha siddha. This is perceived by everyone, experienced by us everyone. Tatah. Therefore, klesho adhikatarah tesham ityuktam. That is why it is said, more than them, these fellows experience more pain, more than the people who are sagunopasakas. यद्यपि एकमेव फलं तथापि ते दुष्करेण उपायेन प्राप्नुवन्ति, तदपेक्षया सुकरेण उपायेन प्राप्नुवन्तो भवन्ति श्रेष्ठाः इत्यभिप्रायः. Though the results are same, people who meditate upon the non-attributed self, they gain it with a lot of pain, a lot of trouble, undergoing a lot of trouble, lot of pain. But these people who worship this attributed self, they gain it easily. That is why, since this is gained as in a very easy method, it is said as superior. Like there is this place, Tirukkovilur, close by. Now there, a great saint poet, Auvayar, she was a young girl. Bridegroom party has come to see her for her eligibility, to ask for her in marriage. After hearing about her goodness, etc., good character, etc., they want to ask her for marriage. At that time, she goes to the backyard where she has established her idol of Ganapati. She is a great devotee of Ganapati. She prays to Lord, asking to get rid of this beauty and make her ugly and old. And she becomes ugly and old. Old, not ugly, old. Now, after that, she quits her home and she travels here and there, because she wanted to be sannyasi. That's why she wants to be old. People don't disturb. So she travels here and there, singing great songs, etc. At one point of time, she was here in this place called Tirukkovilur. There, the king of the local kingdom, Pallava king or someone, he has a habit of visiting Mount Kailash and having darshana of Shiva directly every day. He flies in his horse every day. or he has a chariot or some flying object, something like, let's say he has a horse anyway, a horse or elephant. Now he invites this lady. I have one seat vacant. If you want, you can join me. I can take you today, but you have to come and report earlier. So she wanted to go to Kailash, and she was doing the puja very fast. And Ganapati said, Ganapati is Pratyaksha. He is sitting in front of her. He says, "Why are you in a hurry?" No, no, I have to go to see, please. He says, "Don't worry. Do the puja peacefully. We'll see about that later." Okay. Ganapati himself says this. So she does the puja peacefully. And this fellow left for Kailas. And after she finished the puja, Ganapati took her in his trunk and caught her with his trunk and put her in Kailas. Quantum transformation. She transferred her from here to there, transported her. This is a easy method. This is easy, and I remember the story. I remember this lady's name, Avayar, and remember who transported and through what she was transported. But I don't remember the name of the king. I don't remember the vehicle of the king. Right? So, because this is easy, one, we remember only easy things. We accept only easy things. Similarly, we have to do only these. This is superior. If someone can transport us to some place without visa and all that hassles, without expenditure, without going for COVID test and all that, and the pressure of being COVID positive, this, that, and all these hassles, if somebody is going to transport us from one place to other, we'll be happy. Okay? No. But that is fine. That is fine. No. But there is another issue. Falaikye klesha alpatva adikyabhyam utkarsha nishkarsho syatam. Though the result is there, same, because of less amount of effort, pain, and more amount of pain, let it be superior or inferior. Because of less amount of pain, the Saguna Upasana may be superior, and because of more amount of pain, more amount of trouble, the Nirguna Upasana may be inferior. Let it be. So, Syatam, fine. Tadevatu nasti Nirguna Brahmavidam hi phalam avidya. But when there is the same result, then that is okay. But that is not right. We don't gain the same result. What do you say? Because Nirguna Brahma Vidam, for the knowers of the non-attributed self, phalam, the result is avidya, that kari nivritya. Through the removal of ignorance and its effect, nirvishesham paramananda bodha brahma rupa, they gain the absolute self without any equal, the absolute bliss. Now, for the attributed people, the people who worship attributed self, Sagana Brahma Vidam, the knowers of attributed self, to Adhisthana Pramayaha Abhavena, they don't know the substratum, the self. Therefore, Avidya Nivritti Abhavat, they don't get rid of the ignorance and its effect. Therefore, Aishwarya Vishesha, they gain some superior state, some heavens, etc. Karya Brahma Loka Gatanam Phalam. They go to the world of that worship the deity. That's all. Atah, therefore, Phala Adikyartham Ayasa Adikyam na Nyunatam Apadeti. The to gain the superior result, if we have to undergo a little trouble, little greater trouble, little more trouble, that's not an issue here. They say in school, when we study in school, study properly, put lot of effort, you will get into good college. If you want to enter into good college, putting that much of effort in your school studies is not bad thing. That is what he says here also. If you want to get a good result, which is Nirguna Vidya, Nirguna Brahman, and absolute bliss, then fine, do put more effort. If you don't want to go to gain that absolute self, if you want to go to the world of these deities, fine, put less of trouble, gain less of pain, and do whatever you need to do. Iti chet, if you say so, no. Remember this discussion also is a very important discussion. Most people think Saguna Brahma Vidya and Nirguna Brahma Vidya is a same. That is not same. Saguna Brahma Vidya and Nirguna Brahma Vidya are both different. They have different results. That is established by the Purvapakshi. Then if he says na iti chet na, don't say that. He is negating means he is going to establish something else. They are both same, etc. No, not so. We'll have to listen to that later. Oh, slowly we'll see. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.